singing, it's Srimati Radharani singing directly. Krishna and Radha, the dynamics of the ecstasy of their love for each other is in one form. And that's what you hear when Lord Chaitanya sings the holy names. Mahabhava. This type of Mahabhava, Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, the only three people who understand it is Srimati Radharani, Madhavendra Puri, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No one else can understand. No matter how many slokas you recite, no matter how many mantras you chant, no matter how many austerities you perform, no matter how perfect you gain self-realization, no matter how pure your heart is, the jiva is simply incapable of understanding the depth of that love. Sri Radha, Madhavendra Puri, and Lord Chaitanya. Only three people in all the material or spiritual worlds that really understand the fullness of the nature of that love. And in that love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is singing kirtan. And so often he would empower his own devotees to sing kirtan. Mukunda Dutt, Srivas Thakur, many kirtan singers he would. But here is Srimati Radharani herself singing in this temple in South India as Lord Gauranga. So when these common villagers, they would hear this voice, and they would see the ecstasies of his dancing, it was utterly enchanting, mesmerizing, conquering their hearts. And the word spread, and wherever he would go, it would begin with one or two people seeing him, and soon there would be thousands and thousands of people. When they would see the beauty of his dance and his glance, he would glance upon everyone. Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the most beautiful eyes that have ever been manifested in creation. Like lotus petals that extended almost to his ears. They were so beautiful, so wide. More than just the shape and the form of his eyes, which were not material. They were pure Satchidananda eyes. Incredible. Satchidananda eyes, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, his form. But yet, even the most fallen souls could actually see him. And what came from his eyes? The ultimate supreme compassion of Srimati Radharani was gazing through those eyes. So when that glance hit you, it's like, when somebody looks at you, you feel something, yes? You feel the energy of the person, you feel the attention of the person, you can feel the love of a person, you can feel the hate of a person. Right? Through the eyes. The eyes is a window by which we can very much manifest our feelings towards someone. Yes, if a mother doesn't look at her child, the child is very heartbroken. If the mother looks at the child with anger, the child is very afraid. The mother looks at the child with love, the child's heart melts and feels such protection. That means she didn't do anything, she didn't say anything, she just looked. That's the power of the eyes. It's not the eyes, it's the intention of our consciousness that so powerfully manifests through the eyes. Gopal went to Vrindavan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told Rupa and Sanatan Goswami about him. And they were waiting for him, waiting to meet this incredible personality who had received such abundant blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during South India. They were feeling intense separation from Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami was feeling intense separation from Rupa and Sanatan. And they had never seen each other, and they never met, and they didn't have internet. They didn't have Facebook, where they could exchange photos with each other. This is me massaging Lord Chaitanya's feet when I was 5 years old. They never saw each other. They didn't know what each other looked like. They didn't know anything, but they were totally in love with each other. And they were feeling intense separation from each other. This is bhakti. It's beyond all this physical stuff. We don't need internet. We don't need telephones or cell phones. All we need is devotion. All we need is love for Krishna that could bind us in an inseparable way. So they were feeling such deep separation from people they never met. They just heard about. And it was so real. And finally, after all these long years, Gopal arrives in Vrindavan. And Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Radhanath Goswami, they greeted him with so much affection. They wrote, Lord Chaitanya was sitting in Gambhira, and he was, I have not heard from Rupa and Sanatan for a long time. I wonder whatever happened to Gopal. Did he ever reach Vrindavan? And then a messenger came. Not just push a button and the message goes. In those days, if you wanted to send a message, you had to be serious. You had to find somebody to walk 1,000 miles after you write it out. Not with a pen. You had to sketch it in palm leaves, on scrolls, and sketch out your message. And then get somebody to walk from Vrindavan to Puri to deliver. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received this message that Gopal Bhatta Goswami has come. And we have accepted him as our own brother, and we are happy together. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy. He was happy to see his devotees together. Machchita madgata purana katayantash. That when devotees come together, they love to hear and chant about Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy that his devotees were together. They were doing Krishna Katha together, they were doing Hari Kirtan together, they were doing Seva together to Thakurji. They're doing, they're brothers in Krishna service. Lord Chaitanya was so happy. And we should know that there's nothing more that we can do to make Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya happy than following in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. Narottam Das Thakur saying, we cannot enter into the Vrindavan Leela unless we follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. And this is a very important part of following in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. Sharing that affection and love for each other centered around devotional service that they had for each other. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy, even though he was so many 1,000 miles away. He sent gifts. He sent his own kopan. He sent a little sitting place. He sent his own kamandalu, his own little water pot, as gifts to Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And he sent other gifts to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and the others. And he just became, he received the blessings and the love and the friendship of Bhugarbha Goswami, Lokanath Goswami. As time went on, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Jiva Goswami came. He lived. Very briefly, in their loving relationships with each other in Vrindavan, we find they have their bhajan courtiers. And in Sanket, between Nandagaon and Badarsana, is one of the bhajan courtiers of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. It's a hole underground. In yatras of the past, we used to go there and every devotee would go in the hole. But now there's so many. The whole yatra would be standing in line to get in the hole. Because only one person could go in at a time. You crawl. You can't stand up. You have to crawl on your hands and knees like a little baby to get down in there. And then you can only sit in there. You can't stand up. There's no windows, cross ventilation. Just a little hole in the ground, a little cave, underground cave. And he would, for months and months, he would be down there doing his japa and doing his smaranam, his meditation on Krishna, Radha, doing his seva. That's how the Goswamis lived in Vrindavan. He left the luxurious opulences of Sri Rangam to live in that hole. But that was Vrindavan. It wasn't just a hole. It was a hole in the dirt of Vrindavan. It was higher. That little hole was more opulent than all the treasures of Vaikuntha. That's the way he was seeing it. And he traveled at the Gandaki River. He received Shalagram Shilas. He had 12 Shalagram Shilas that he brought back and worshipped in Vrindavan. Meanwhile, Rupa Goswami had Radha Govinda. Sanatana Goswami had Madan Mohan. Madhu Pandit had Radha Gopinath. Rupa Goswami gave Jiva Goswami Radha Damodar a little later, perhaps. And he was immersed in the love of the gopis, worshipping Krishna. A wealthy man came to Vrindavan and was giving jewels and crowns and clothes to all of the different murtis of the Goswamis. And he gave to Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Gopal Bhatta Goswami at that time was thinking that I want to offer all these beautiful things to you, Lord, but in this Shalagram Shila form, it's so limited what I can offer you. It was on the day of Narsingha Chaturdasi. He prayed, my Lord, just as you came out of a stone pillar to manifest your beautiful form to Prahlad, how much I could serve you if you come out of this transcendental stone of the Shalagram Shila to manifest your form. He put his Shalagrams to rest. And the next morning he went to take his bath in Yamuna, get water, collect water from Yamuna to bathe his Shalagrams. And when he opened the basket where his Shalagram Shilas were kept. The Damodar Shila had expanded his form into a beautiful threefold bending form. Beautiful. Gopal Bhatta Goswami was in ecstasy. And what was the first thing he did? He wanted to share his joy with his brothers. Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. This is bhakti. This is what pleases Krishna when we want to share our fortune with each other. Rupa and Sanatan Goswami saw that deity, and they were all weeping and crying in ecstasy. The Sambandha Murti Madan Mohan, the Abhideya Murti Radha Govinda, the Prayojana Murti Radha Gopinath, they all could see that all three of these deities were manifested in the one form of Radharaman. He was the culmination of all the deities in this one little form. He was smiling so sweetly, and even has little teeth and such super fine features of his fingers, his lips, and his eyes, and his feet, his toes. Nobody carved him. Self-manifested by Krishna's own sweet will. And because he was found in this place just close to the Nidhuban, where Sri Radha and Krishna have their divine leelas, where they rest together, where they perform Ras Leela together, where Srimati Radharani gives the ultimate pleasure to Krishna, and Krishna gives the ultimate pleasure to Sri Radha at Nidhuban. And it was right there that the Murti manifested. So they named the Murti Radharaman. He became the life and soul of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Along with Sanatan Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami wrote the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Gopal Bhatta Goswami wrote a book on the actually the Satsandarbhas. Jiva Goswami, I believe, it was originally written in an less systematic way by Gopal Bhatta Goswami in codes. And on Gopal Bhatta Goswami's inspiration, Jiva Goswami wrote the Satsandarbhas, which are foundational basis of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, of which our dear Nityananda Prabhu is helping Gopi Puranadana Prabhu to translate. And such good fortune. He's also coming from that Srirangam area. He's also from the Ramanuja Sampradaya previously, so he's definitely the appropriate person. And one day Gopal Bhatta Goswami was worshipping Radharaman, and he was feeling a transcendental guilt in his heart. He didn't feel qualified to be worshipping Krishna. He was thinking, it was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that saved me. It was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who has given me everything. It was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who is my life, my soul. His causeless mercy has brought me here and given me everything I have. It's given me the association of Rupa and Sanatan and Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Lokanath Goswami, Bhugarbha Goswami. It's given me the Seva Kunj, the Nidhuban, Nandagam Barsana, Shri Giri Govardhan. Gopal Bhatta Goswami also had a bhajan kutir at Radha Kund. He's given me Radha Kund, Shama Kund. It's all by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And my mother and father, before I left, they told me I should go to Vrindavan and worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as he was thinking this way, Radharaman understood exactly his heart. So right in front of Gopal Bhatta Goswami's eyes, he saw Radharaman transform into the beautiful Swarup of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya smiled upon Gopal Bhatta Goswami, smiled upon him, and through his words and his glance and his infinite grace, he assured Gopal Bhatta Goswami that I am Sri Radharaman and I am pleased with you. And then his form again became that of Sri Radharaman. His life and his soul. Today is also the disappearance day of Ramchandra Kaviraj, but we are out of time. In fact, we are 1 hour and 5 minutes late, according to the rules of the temple. But I'll say something. Ramchandra Kaviraj was a disciple of Srinivasacharya, who was the foremost disciple of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. We know the story how Srinivasacharya, he heard from his father Chaitanya Das all about Lord Chaitanya and his associates. He longed to meet them. So when he became a teenage boy, a little older, he immediately left home to go to Navadvip. To Puri. And just as he was traveling to Puri, he got the news that Lord Chaitanya had left the world. He fell to the ground and started ripping his chest open and tearing his hair out. He decided he would just enter fire. There's no reason to live if Lord Chaitanya is gone. But Lord Chaitanya appeared when he was unconscious and told him, you should go to Puri and take shelter of Gadadhar Pandit and learn Srimad Bhagavatam from him. So he went, and there Srinivasacharya, he learned, he was supposed to learn. He met Gadadhar Pandit, who was weeping in separation of Lord Chaitanya. He said, how can I teach you Srimad Bhagavatam? You have to read it. And all the pages of the Bhagavatam have been washed away by the tears of my love. And Lord Chaitanya's love, because every day Lord Chaitanya and Gadadhar for hours would read Srimad Bhagavatam together. So you have to go back to Bengal to get a copy. So he went back and he met Narahari Sarakar and so many other great saints, Abhiram Thakur. And when he was on his way back to Puri with the new Bhagavatam, again, we shouldn't take things for granted. Now we just go to the gift stall and gift shop or any railway station practically, and we just buy a Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you don't want to, some devotee will come up and try to convince you to take it. So we can take it for granted. But it's the same Srimad Bhagavatam that Srinivasacharya walked hundreds and hundreds of miles to get and waited months and months to have it made. It's the exact same Bhagavatam. Even better because it has the commentaries of all of our acharyas through Srila Prabhupada's love. What a gift. We just let it sit on our shelf. When he came to the outskirts of Puri, he heard that Gadadhar Pandit had left. And again, I will enter fire. But then Gadadhar Pandit appeared and said, go to Vrindavan. Study from Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. He went all the way to Vrindavan. Met various great acharyas on the way. Took him a while. When he was at Vishram Ghat, taking bath in Mathura, he got the news that Rupa and Sanatana Goswami had left. And then they appeared to him and said, you should study under Jiva Goswami. And you should accept Gopal Bhatta Goswami as your guru. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami took Srinivasacharya before Radharaman and offered, he is your property, he is yours. This was the consciousness of a guru. Not that the disciple is mine. The disciple of a guru in our Gaudiya tradition is to simply offer the disciple to Krishna through parampara and to train the disciple to love Krishna on Krishna's behalf through parampara. So Srinivasacharya lived with Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and the love between the Goswamis is Gopal Bhatta sent him to Jiva Goswami for teachings. And there Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasacharya and Shyamananda became most intimate, loving friends and brothers in Krishna. Narottam Das Thakur was a disciple of Lokanath Goswami, Shyamananda, Hriday Chaitanya, and Srinivasacharya, Gopal Bhatta Goswami. But in Lord Chaitanya's service and knowing the will of their gurus, they were one in heart. They were absolute God brothers on the deepest sense of their hearts because they understood the love, the will of their gurus. Jiva Goswami sent them all back. They went to Gopal Bhatta Goswami, to Raghunath Das Goswami, to all these different Goswamis to get their blessings. To bring the books of the Goswamis to Bengal. On the way they were stolen by King Birambir. And Srinivasacharya stayed to try to find them. And he sent Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda to their places in Ketari Gram and Orissa. And there Srinivasacharya, he gave pure bhakti to the king, who was a dacoit. And in doing so, the entire kingdom became devotees. And he initiated the whole kingdom. This was his power. And it's described that one day he made his base in Jajigram, which is not far from Srikanda. In Srikanda there was a very great devotee who was mentioned several times in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srikanda describes Lochan Das Thakur was from there. The two brothers, Mukunda Sadakar and Narahari Sadakar, and Raghunandan Thakur, the son of Mukunda. And it always says Chirajivan. He was one of the very, very prominent devotees of Sri Kanda. And he had a son named Ramchandra. who was a very great scholar, very great Brahmin. And according to some of our scriptures, he was a brahmachari. And some say that he was actually getting married by the arrangement of his parents. And the marriage procession was going by Jajigram, where Srinivasacharya was sitting. And Srinivasacharya started talking out loud so that Ramchandra could hear, saying he has a noose, a rope around his neck, and he's celebrating it. Now that doesn't apply to all of you, but Srinivasacharya just knew exactly who Ramchandra Kaviraj was and what his mission was in life. So when Ramchandra heard this, he went and surrendered to Srinivasacharya. And that was the end of everything else. He became his dearmost disciple. And when Narottam Das Thakur wanted to celebrate this first Gaur Purnima festival in Ketari, he contacted Srinivasacharya, Shamananda Goswami, and all the others. And Srinivasacharya came with Ramchandra Kaviraj to make plans for this Gaur Purnima festival. And Srinivasacharya, as soon as Ramchandra Kaviraj and Narottam Das Thakur met, there was such a connection of their hearts. They became such deep best friends in the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srinivasacharya entrusted his foremost disciple under the care of Narottam Das Thakur. And they became like the most intimate, loving brothers for the rest of their lives. Ramchandra went to Vrindavan, and he was such an incredible poet. He read some of his beautiful songs and poems before Jiva Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami, and Jiva Goswami conferred upon him the title Kaviraj. It was at that point he became Ramchandra Kaviraj. In those days, everything was taken very seriously. Now we just call anybody Kaviraj if they... But it was conferred upon him, this title. Jiva Goswami gave Narottam the title Narottam Das Thakur Mahashoy. Gave Srinivas the name Srinivas Acharya. Gave Ramchandra Kaviraj. These were very profound gifts that because all the devotees recognized their super incredible qualities, they were given these titles. It wasn't just a ritual. And when people called him Srinivas Acharya, their hearts understood. From the perspective of Raghunath Das Goswami and Jiva Goswami and Lokanath Goswami, he is Acharya. He is Kaviraj. And his younger brother was Govinda Kaviraj. There's a beautiful story about him also. We sing his song, Bhaja Hure Mana Srinanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Beautiful song was written by Ramchandra Kaviraj's younger brother, Govinda, who he brought to the path of pure bhakti. And to get back to the verse about Nanda and Vasudev meeting, the love between them, When Narottam Das Thakur heard about the disappearance of Srinivasacharya, he was beside himself. And a little later, when he heard the story about the disappearance of his dearmost best friend, Ramchandra Kaviraj, Narottam Das Thakur just went into the forest in love and separation, crying out the names of Krishna and crying out the names of Krishna's devotees. And very soon after that, by his own mystical arrangement, he departed from the world. Just to show us how devotees of the highest level, not out of material sentiment or attachment, but out of ecstatic love, they see Krishna so much in each other that they can't live without each other. That is the mood of Nanda and Vasudeva. That is the spirit of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the gift of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much.